Strap in, people.
It's a shock. It's a real shock.
Superman. James
No.
Gunn's Superman, 2025 Superman, whatever you call it. The artist formerly known as Superman Legacy. So, from the Letterboxd, look up. That's your tagline. Superman, a journalist in Metropolis, which, no, Clark Kent's a journalist in Metropolis. Superman is not. But anyway, embarks on a journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent, which succinct, but kind of gets to the nugget of the film, I think.
Yep.
Obviously, I've seen this film before. I saw it twice the day it came out for reasons, and was very happy to do so. I watched it when it came out on 4K. I bought it and watched it then, and then I kind of just had this thing of like, when it comes on Sky, I'm going to watch it then as well. That's its next milestone is hitting TV, and it took slightly longer because I'm guessing they were waiting for HBO Max to launch in this country and coincided with that. So I was like, why are you showing Jurassic World Rebirth and you haven't even got the Superman yet? That came out before. And, you know, I approached it with a certain amount of trepidation. First time I watched the film, I gave it 4 stars. Second time I watched it, I was like, no, fuck it. I'm bumping it up to 5 stars. It's not a 5-star film, but I had a 5-star time with it.
Yep.
And then when I watched it at home, I was like, is that cinema magic and hype going to wear off? But I enjoyed it just as much. And then going into this, it's like we're like a couple of months shy of a year. What is it? 9 months, I think. It was July it came out.
Yep.
And I was like, is this going to land this time? Am I going to be bored off my tits? Like, sometimes you love a film, and then you watch it, like, oh, I'm so familiar with this now. It's just kind of plodding and boring for me. I still love it.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
I don't know if I love it more each time I watch it, but I definitely appreciate different things. I also, having listened to other people, Michael Bailey recently did an episode of It All Comes Back to Superman on it.
Superman.
My wife's going to be in the other room. Do that. But yeah, and his guest on that and he were a bit more critical. I recognize the faults of it. I recognize the problems. I had a real problem with people who are like, oh, it just starts and they don't introduce these characters. I'm a lot chiller on that than when I first did it. But yeah, I get it. I just, having grown up on comics, that's what comics are.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea who these people are, or on issue 47, fuck it, I'll just pick it up.
Yep.
And I think the film does a decent job of telling you who these people are without, like, I got my hawk wings from...
Stu, this is the most comic book movie we've ever had. Ever. I don't think you can get anything closer to the actual pages jumping out than this. Then I would say then Reeves Superman. Sorry, Reeve Superman.
Reeves is Superman anyway.
Yeah, Reeves is. Yeah, like that. This is the most comic book one apart from that. Because that's top tier.
That is still the benchmark.
I always say that's in its own echelon entirely. That's its own thing, and then everything else has to be compared to other films. You know what I mean?
It's a bit like ranking Superman villains and just being like, well, Lex Luthor's a given, right?
Yeah. But this is the most comic book one that you get, and it all starts with that, with the whole thing of this was how many years ago, this was how many months ago, this was how many minutes ago, but weeks, days, months, blah blah blah, and this is what happened 3 seconds ago. Bang, we're in.
Yeah,
and it just goes off. Because we have all, but this is the complaint that we've had for so many years, and now that we're not getting it, we're complaining about it again. No, fuck that. We have complained so many times that we've seen the Waynes die, we've seen Uncle Ben die, we've seen all these, we've seen Krypton blow up, all these things. We've seen this 1,000 times over.
Oh, if I see the Waynes die one more time.
Oh, God, if I see those pearls, honestly. As somebody on Empire actually pointed out, that it's cheap pearls because actual pearls don't break.
Don't break, yeah.
They're braided together. But Also pointing out that Thomas Wayne was a cheap ass, which is just hilarious. Um,
Spent
but
all that money on that fucking train.
I know, but I tell you, like, I genuinely, we spent every fan or person who loved those films, um, complained, and now they're complaining that they're not getting it. I'm like, there's no middle ground here. The middle ground is you just throw them in, and we've got that now. And the fact that it throws it in, and the fact that it's like watching the pages come to life, makes it magical.
Yeah,
I can't imagine a better version. I'm not a James Gunn fan in the slightest. Do not like the Guardians films. Never really liked Slither all that much. I like that one that he did that was like Superman.
oh,
Oh God,
Brightburn.
Brightburn. Yeah, I like
Yeah, he
that.
didn't direct that, did he? He just wrote it.
Yeah. But either way, you know what I mean. Like, I
Yeah,
just not a massive Gun fan in general. But hot damn, this is a perfect Superman film. I
yeah,
love it. And you said that thing. I don't know if I'm enjoying this more every time I watch it or not. I 100% enjoyed this
yeah.
more the second time I watched it. I watched it that first time. You very kindly gifted me the Blu-ray. I'll never stop thanking you for that because that was incredible. Um,
I just wanted you to watch it. Like I
yeah.
say, I still had that trepidation. I was going to get a video of it going in the bin.
Never. You're never going to get it now because on second time watching, I loved it even more.
Yeah,
I didn't bump up the star rating, funnily enough. I never noticed that. I just looked at that there. They were both 4 star. So there's something stopping me from giving it a 5. And I think, personally, I think the only thing that's stopping me from giving it a 5 is that there is a bit of smashy bashy building bashing
yeah,
throughout it that I kind of go, this is reminiscent of like every other superhero film that the buildings have to fall down, and I don't think we needed that in this. But it works for the context of the film, so it's fine. But I think that's the only thing that kind of puts it down. And
I
also
think the thing that
makes
saved that for me was that great shot of her looking in a rearview mirror and he's just coming up out of the ash.
yes,
And
yeah,
it's not a Batman v Superman with people on their roof with their arms stretched out and Superman's just hovering above them, kind of like, ha, peasants,
yeah,
draining, are you?
exactly. I think
Which
was
again,
it.
that scene could have been saved if Superman had just started to hold his hand out
Yeah, exactly. Oh, see, that
instead
man
of him just floating there watching.
That man
Like,
didn't know those characters at all.
no,
Those
and
those
that's
studios, those studios didn't want to fucking work with him either. But I think what saved me for that whole thing as well is the joke with the buildings putting back together
yeah,
at the end. I mean, literally, you've got
that can be
that.
such a jerk sometimes.
Yeah, just looking at them. What? Nothing. It's just you know, just they're sitting just slightly out of place.
I
I
do
love
think that should have been the mid-credit scene, and Crypto and Superman on the moon, as lovely as it is, should have been the capper at the end of the credits.
Yeah.
Just
Oh
when
God,
Crypto gives him a hug. I love that.
no, I love that as well.
Molly does that to me sometimes.
It
Isn't
makes
it
me
great when you
cry.
see a dog on film and you're just like,
Yeah,
my dog does that, and now I'm just seeing my dog.
he clearly has a dog as well. I mean, I know Crypto is based after his dog
Yeah,
anyway, but seeing that, I was like, this is a guy that has a dog,
yeah.
100%. Like this, out and out, every part of it. You know, the animal is unruly. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, he is. I love it. I love Crypto as anyway. I'm a big Crypto fan. I'm a big Ace Bathound fan. I
Yeah.
like the dogs in comics. So to see Crypto on screen as well, also depicted
And
not
I
as
will
like
freely admit, I was incredibly dubious about Crypto being a part of this film.
I was dubious because I thought they were going to make him the big solid dog that he has been in some other
Yeah, I
iteration.
was semi worried The Rock was going to be voicing him. Like,
Exactly. And then you got this dumb, fluffy, like protector, and it
yeah,
was just like, God, I love this. Like,
it's what I like about him being a small terrier kind of dog. Is
yep,
that's what small terrier dogs like. They got like little dog syndrome.
yeah, yep, viciously loyal.
Yeah,
Like, is unbelievable. But just the dopiness of him and the one ear up and the
yeah,
the head tilts and stuff, and
yeah. Given that that dog's not real,
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's not real in the slightest. That is ball on a stick stuff,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Which
I
is
think his dog was around for like reference and that,
yeah.
but
That makes his performance even
yeah.
better. Man, he is good as
David
Superman.
Cornsway is so good.
He looks the
Rachel
part.
Brosnahan is so good as Lois Lane. I get the criticism. There's not a lot of Daily Planet in this, but when you go back and watch the Christopher Reeve one, there's not a huge amount of Daily Planet in that either.
There's a lot of Daily Planet in this one.
I think there's enough. I think stuff like
Yeah.
Daily Planet stuff works better on telly. You've got more time to do it like you did in
Yeah.
those. For me, one of the things that the Superman community needs to do is accept that not every Superman is going to be your Superman.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if David Cornsweet is my Superman. I really love Tyler Hoechlin in the Superman and Lois TV series.
Yeah.
Even though his Clark is very similar to his Superman, there's not a lot of difference between the two of them. Just something about that performance hit, and it felt like a nice capper to my Superman fandom. If like no more Superman stuff ever came out after that, I would have been satisfied. The fact that everything now is bonus, and this was so good for me. I get people aren't going to like it. Different people have different ideas of who Superman is. Like over the best part of 90 years, you're going to have different Superman.
Oh yeah, God yeah.
What I like about this is, and this is something I've got the more I've watched it, is that there is that feel of Christopher Reeve. There is that feel of Lois and Clark on TV. There is that feel of Smallville.
Yep.
It feels, there is even like that feel of Henry Cavill, like when the crowd turns on him, of the alienated Superman, no pun intended. I just think it's handled better in this.
Yeah, definitely.
That scene between him and his dad on the porch that I've heard people criticize, where he's just having this small, mundane talk about going to the taco place or whatever it is. That scene really works for me because that's the kind of small talk you have, particularly between two men. Because let's face it, we never dive straight into the big stuff. I mean, this and why not whole thing is about talking about, like when we did High Fidelity, we got into deep shit through talking about a film.
Yeah.
And it's very much that, and it's him getting Lois's name wrong. People put as like, oh, why Jonathan Kent have to be so doddery and not know Lois's name? It's like he knows Lois's name.
Yeah, he's seen Clark if he knows
to say
it. Yep.
Because then Clark will smile. He's deliberately talking about going to that restaurant they used to go to trigger memories to get Clark comfortable. And then when he gets him to talk about Lois, and that's what brings him out, and that's what breaks the conversation, you get that beautiful moment of it's parents' jobs to let their kids make asses of themselves.
Yep.
And that's a beautiful speech, and I think Pruitt Taylor is so good in that role. I get the criticism about Martha Kent. I quite like her. This is a Martha Kent we've not seen before.
They own a farm.
Yeah, I quite like that she's a dotty old lady.
Yeah.
She reminds me of my grandparents. If my grandparents had mobiles, that's how it would have been. It would have been on the coffee table and she would have been shouting from the sofa.
They both remind me of the version of Ma and Pa Kent that I grew up with, which was Dan Jurgens in Death of Superman was unfortunately one of my first Superman comics. Well, not unfortunately, I love it, but you know what I mean? It's strange to come to the death at the start. But
weirdly for me, it was the return. I'm like one of the few outliers of our generation that was kind of like, oh, they killed him. Oh, that's sad, but whatever. Oh, they're bringing him back. How are they going to bring him back? I'm in.
But that
sucker.
that version was them though, wasn't it? You know, it was the dungarees and the plaid shirts and her being like, Kents, "Oh, Paul," you know.
The Kents are simple folk. I like when they do different things, like Kay Callan as Martha Kent in Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman. John Schneider and Annette O'Toole in Smallville. I like when they do different things. I don't necessarily agree with the way the film portrayed them, but I liked Diane Lane and Kevin Costner in Man of Steel. I just wish they'd been a bit more decent people.
Human?
Yeah.
Because they literally didn't act like human beings. They acted like robots, which was so
it's
weird.
The whole undermining it of like, we can't ever let anybody know you're an alien. But I sent a piece of metal from your home planet off to the thing. And it's like, really? And nobody came looking?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, where did you get this alien rock, you dick? I just like that they're simple folk. It contrasts nicely.
Yep.
With the Kryptonian parents and that. I've talked about this film. We talked about it in the review of the year. I did a whole 2 episodes of Countdown to Superman post the film where we talked about it, both me, Michael Bailey, and Rob O'Connor together, and I did an initial one by myself. So if people want more, they can go there. But it is safe to say this film is a bin it for me. No, I'm kidding.
Could you imagine?
It's a buy it, and the next time I watch it, if I don't watch it on this before, but the next milestone it hits is when it hits terrestrial TV.
Yep.
Please be on BBC One.
The next one for me will just be if I want cheered up.
Yeah.
Like it's now officially.
It's my new comfort movie. It's my new. If I'm feeling sick, I can chuck it on. I can drift in and out of it, and I can be happy.
I was watching it before going to bed. I started to fall asleep near the end because I was basically keeping myself up to watch the film. I fell asleep before the end and I paused it. I had the conscious state of mind to pause it. Had a kip, woke up, got my dogs out for their last toilet, and came back and finished it. That's how good it is. I didn't go to bed. I didn't go, right, turn everything off, I'll finish it in the morning. I finished it. I was like,
it's going to be one, if I catch it like 10 o'clock at night, I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I
will suffer the next day.
I had 25 minutes to go. It wasn't like it was a short amount of time. 25 minutes to go, and I sat and watched it because I thought, no, fuck, this is amazing. Like, I'm loving this. I'm loving just being a part of it. I went to bed happier. I went to bed being like, I'm fulfilled for the night. You know what I mean? Like, I watched something that was fun and filled me up with joy. I enjoyed it. It was colourful. It was bright, and everybody put on a show. How can you argue with that? I don't. And the jokes land, man. They're not crap. It's not all. Oh, I saw that on Twitter or whatever. Yeah. No shit like that. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a social media aspect to this that I think is going to end up outdated, but we have lived through that time, so it's fine. Like we'll all, the ones that watched it will remember that, so it's fine. That might date it a bit though, where they're talking about like it's trending online and stuff. Cut to about 20 years from now, somebody watches that, they might be like, eh.
To be fair as well, another thing for this, it's going to be curious to rewatch it after Man of Tomorrow happens, because a lot's going to depend on how that film hits. I don't think it's going to change my enjoyment of this film, but obviously a sequel will then play into your mind when you're watching the first one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I wonder how it's going to be like watching Supergirl.
Yeah.
Because crypto's kind of the whole point of the thing, you know what I mean? So it will be interesting to see that. I mean, it's going to be a completely different thing because it's his cousin and she can do something else off-world that has nothing to do with him. But the fact that crypto's involved in it, it's like, okay, let's see how this goes. But I'm more interested to see that now, because of how much I enjoy this film.
I'm going to watch it. I'm not as invested in it as I was for Superman. Obviously, I'm a Superman guy. With the exception of Superman and Lois on TV, I'd gone through a fairly fallow period in the cinema.
Yeah.
I didn't like Man of Steel. I hated BVS. I thought both cuts of Justice League were fine.
I couldn't watch the other one. I've still never seen the 4-hour thing, Snyder Cut thing. I watched the original one, didn't enjoy it. I don't remember a thing from it.
The only really good thing in that, there's a couple of good scenes that I like, and I like the portrayal of Superman in that. And I was like, oh man, Henry Cavill, why can't you do this?
Yeah.
That's the sad thing, is I think Henry Cavill did want to do that.
Yeah, he never got a chance. He never got a chance to do the character the way he wanted to.
Unfortunately, his time moved on. I get why you couldn't bring him back to do this. It would have been too jarring.
I think
and, for the people who love the Snyderverse and want this to fail, another Superman will come along at some point.
Exactly.
Just ride it out like I had to.
I think Gordon Sweat fills out that suit perfectly, though. He's got the gauntness and the skinniness, but he's also built like a brick house at the same time. Yeah. Like it's perfect.
But and not too built.
Oh no, not at all. No, not at all.
That's my other thing, is I don't need a really big beefcakey Superman.
No,
he's got to look like a normal dude.
He needs to look believable. The big pants as well, love it. It's my favorite thing about it. It's the big pants. Yeah, it's my favorite thing about that suit.
The Kryptonite's coming out now, so we better. Hey,
yeah, no, exactly.